the government has been missing their target of 1 lakh crore every month. So the thing is, a committee on revenue mobilization has also been formed in October, which I think had to give the report in 15 days, which has now been extended. So I just want to know that what are your expectations from such a committee that is going to come up with?
My first expectation would be that they don't hurry up and come up with a recommendation. It takes time, right? I mean, for you to make a comprehensive study as to what are the reasons for the slowdown in collection and come up with a thing. See, first of all, the economy itself is slowing down, right? So when you fix up the targets, and that's, I think for the government is very important that as they fix up the target for next year, they should be more realistic, right? I don't think that success of GST should be determined by the monthly collections that they're doing.
Okay.
Success of GST should be, determined from ease of doing business. Are people on the ground feeling more relieved? Are they sort of finding it easier to comply? The goods are moving at a faster pace, which is happening. Are we giving the refunds on time? Is the tax administration okay? The cases of aggressive audits, etc., has reduced. I think those are the parameters on which GST success should be determined. If you see the targets, and I think you must compliment the government that they reduced the target in July, and perhaps they figured out that it was too ambitious a target. Now, if they believe the current target is ambitious still, and which is perhaps what the trend shows, they should be willing to stick their neck out and reduce it further, rather than having a situation where the officers on the ground are feeling the pressure of revenue and they start sort of aggressive sort of tax audits. And that, I think, is one of the major concerns of the industry as well. Now, one additional point which I think the committee should focus on is that how do you incentivize the consumers and to create a more compliant ecosystem. So if you go and buy furniture, why should you ask the vendor to give you an invoice and pay 18% extra? If the guy says that, look, if you don't take an invoice, I will not charge you 18%. For a consumer, it's a big money. Now the answer, I mean, unless you find an answer to that question, then why should consumer go and ask for this? In a B2C segment, you will still see a lot of evasion, right? And I don't think government is really focused on that. So worldwide, the governments are trying to incentivize the consumers to do that. There was a move recently that if you use credit cards and electronic means, there will be a reduction in GST rate, for example. You can also say that, okay, whatever GST you pay, if you have the invoices, you will get a tax break under income tax, for example, right? Incentivizing the customers to ask for invoice from the suppliers. I think that's one major area that they need to focus on.
Because these revenue targets have become a pressure point for tax departments in states as well. So the thing is that, are they going to result into stricter compliances or stricter actions from the government on the corporates?
My fear is that because of this aggressive revenue target, it will lead to a lot of issues on the ground, which is already, I can see, export refunds getting delayed. You getting notices on frivolous issues, this corporate recharge from head office to branch offices, etc. Some of that, they should take a view. I mean, because, the council can take a view now to avoid the litigation. But if you leave it, different authorities, states are taking different view on the same issue, whether it is advanced ruling or whether it is, coming up with their own thought process on refunds and things like that. Why do we need to have this, divergence of views? GST Council can set up some kind of a mechanism. I know that different states are autonomous in their own administration, but you can still try and set up a mechanism to say that, okay, if you have any doubt, let us have, like in customs, it used to happen earlier, that you had to have, you were having commissioners, let's say monthly workshops, for example, where all of them get together, discuss some of the issues, okay, whether we should take this view or not, be consistent. But unfortunately, I think the way it is panning out now, you will see a lot of aggression by the tax authorities on the ground because of the revenue pressure that we are in.
So what should the CFO do in this case?
CFO should two, three things. One is
As you said that they said that we are already filing all the
yes.
returns that we can.
So one is that they should use technology more and more for their compliances, so that the chances of error is minimized. That is one. Second is they have to find a way to engage more and more with the government through industry associations, etc. Engage with them, raise your voice, go and talk to them if you are issues. I tell industry that if any officer is, you believe that there is a high-handedness or there is, some unethical practices that somebody is promoting, you should be willing to stick your neck out and go and complain against that person.